Coming up on this edition of Reel to Reel.
St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Parish in Northampton prepares to welcome refugees.
Dan Dumas will be by with a look at what's happening in the Diocese of Springfield. And some lessons and prayers from St. Teresa of Calcutta. These stories and more are just ahead on this edition of Reel to Reel. Hello and welcome to Reel and Happy New Year. Here in Western Massachusetts, 2017 will begin a new start for 51 refugees as the Catholic Charities Office of the Diocese of Springfield helps them to resettle in Northampton. The families may begin arriving as soon as this month and will come from refugee camps in Burundi, Syria, Iraq, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Hannah Green brings us the story now of how a local parish is stepping in to serve the new members of its community.
As parishioners arrive at St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Parish for Mass in the new year, changes await both them and the people of Northampton. In a press conference held January 5th, Springfield Bishop Mitchell T. Rosansky announced the approved contract to receive and settle refugees in the city of Northampton in 2017. During the conference, Bishop Rosansky explained why the diocese became involved in the resettlement efforts.
We, who in this great nation have been so abundantly blessed, have a moral obligation to share those same blessings with those in need.
Catherine Buckley Bronner of Catholic Charities, the head resettlement agency, said the first families are expected to arrive at the end of January. After that, a few families will come each month until the end of the fiscal year in September. Buckley Bronner said Catholic Charities has helped resettle refugees within the Diocese of Springfield for the last 6 years. She also said a successful resettlement often comes down to community involvement. The Catholic Charities Agency holds a 90-day contract with the State Department through which initial services are provided to families. After 90 days, Catholic Charities must look to outside organizations for assistance.
We know from experience that resettlement is something that takes place after the 90 to 180 days. And that without community organization and community people being there to keep accompanying the refugee families along with our case management, it's incomplete.
According to Father Francis Riley of St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Parish in Northampton, his church has answered this call for help. Father Riley said the staff at his parish even donated an office space for the resettlement efforts.
The office space will be a welcoming center to begin the processing of people in the city of Northampton. So it'll be a first step probably, and an ongoing place where people can find information and ongoing support.
Another way Northampton parishioners are answering this call is by joining Circles of Care, groups of households that support and serve refugee families. Members provide help with transportation, childcare, and perhaps most importantly, finding a sense of belonging. Betsy Yant is the leader of St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Circle of Care. She explained how her group has prepared for this role.
We know that the refugee families will be coming from probably 4 different countries, so we were doing some cultural sensitivity and looking into what foods might they be most comfortable with when they come, and how do we just greet a person from that particular country. So we've got a good start.
While members of Circles of Care will provide similar services, each person had a unique story behind their reason for volunteering.
I spent a lot of time in high school reading books about the Second World War, and I always wondered what would I do if I had been a citizen of Germany in 1930. And I'm finding out not only what I would do, but there are more than 800 people in Northampton that have volunteered to help these refugees, and it's a wonderful thing.
And beyond individual efforts, parishioners and Circle of Care members said they were proud of the church for playing a role in the refugee resettlement.
I'm proud of Northampton, and I'm proud of the church for just stepping forward and saying, no, whatever the currents riding through this country, or we're going to take another stance.
And because of this stance, St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Parish will be one of 3 faith groups to welcome the very first refugees, set to arrive any day. For Reel to Reel, I'm Hannah Green.
Catholic Charities has collected donations from the people of Northampton and the surrounding communities, and everything from furniture to baby supplies. If you'd like to make a donation, you can find a link on our website at iobserve.org. Well, as you will see in our next story, produced by Catholic News Service, there are good people everywhere. More than 5,000 miles away, the Joy of Heaven Cafe in Beirut, Lebanon, caters to the poor and refugee population, and those who run it say the only payment required is a thank you.
This is the Joy of Heaven Cafe. This simple eatery in Beirut caters to Lebanon's poor and refugee population. Though it's a charity that offers free meals, it's operated like a restaurant.
Whatever we do, it is not us who is doing it, it is Jesus. What we're trying to do is to help people keep their dignity.
The guests who come to us are the face of God, and we treat them as such. We make them feel, as Father Maggi taught us, that each guest is the image of God. The guests who come to us, we should respect them and love them. Our goal is to give happiness to the people, not just serve them food.
The Maronite-run charity has been serving Lebanon's needy since 2002. For some of the patrons, it's the only nourishing meal they eat on a regular basis.
I used to live with my wife, and my wife passed away. And my kids, I raised them and educated them, and they left and went abroad. I come because the food is good. Their food is good, and we have to eat to survive.
A third of Lebanon's population lives below the poverty line, and nearly 2 million Syrian war refugees have added to the nation's needy populace.
All what people comes here, they eat here. We give over 200 meals a day, and all what they have to say when they leave, just thank you, and that's all what we ask for, and their smile.
Those are Aya and Kamal. And they have one more brother, and he's Hamoud, but he's shy. He doesn't want to come. I come here just for them. They are from Syria, and they come to here every day with their mother. The first time they came, they were shy. They didn't want to eat. They didn't want to come. But now they got to know us, so we're friends, and they love us, and we love them.
In the beginning, we just came for the food. Then we started coming every day, and it was more than just the food. The children like to come here to play and socialize. We live in one small room. To escape the house, we used to go to church. And that's how it was in the beginning. And then I realized I can come here and go to the church. They like to take care of my kids.
I've been coming here for 2 months. The food is excellent. The people who work here have a great spirit. They're very nice. If we ask them for water, they respond, "You're welcome." If we ask for food, they respond, "You're welcome." Father Majdi is very good. I've never seen someone so well-mannered and so full of love toward the poor. He loves the poor people a lot.
I don't know how to do anything in this restaurant except pour water to the guests, wash the dishes, and take out the garbage.
And there are no checks, no tips at the Joy of Heaven Cafe, just food and friendly faces. Still to come on Reel to Reel. Dan Dumas catches us up on some recent holiday events across Western Massachusetts. And I will sit down with noted author and expert on St. Teresa of Calcutta, Susan Conroy. We'll talk about her new book. These stories and more are still to come on Reel to Reel.
The Chalice of Salvation, your weekly spiritual connection. I'm Passionist Brother Terence Gale and your Chalice host, inviting you to join us this Sunday morning at 10. This week, we welcome Father Mark Stelter, chaplain, and students from the College of Our Lady of the Elms as we mark the Feast of the Epiphany. The Chalice of Salvation, your spiritual connection, Sunday morning at 10, right here on 22 News, WWLP.
Travel next summer with Bishop Mitchell Rosansky and Catholic Communications to Fatima, Portugal to mark the centennial of the Blessed Mother's apparitions. Departing July 17th, this 10-day pilgrimage will visit 3 major European Catholic heritage sites, beginning at Fatima, where you will walk in the footsteps of the 3 young children to whom Mary appeared a century ago. Witness firsthand the great faith of the Portuguese people and the beauty of the land. See how Mary's message still inspires. From there, we'll head to Santiago de Compostela, Spain, where the remains of St. James are buried. Mass will be celebrated in the magnificent cathedral, taking in the sights and sounds of beautiful northern Spain. Our journey will conclude in Lourdes, France, Europe's other great Marian shrine, where the faith has been celebrated for over 150 years. Each day, Bishop Rosansky, assisted by Father Gary Daly, will offer Mass. For more information on this trip, log on to iobserve.org or call 413-452-0670 for a brochure. Renew your faith in 2017. Join Bishop Rosansky and Father Daly for this great spiritual opportunity. Don't miss out.
What have you done for your marriage today?
I took the baby while she worked. Today we've actually organized a date night tonight.
I got up with the baby while he slept.
Yeah.
What have I done for my marriage today?
That is a great question.
I've carried my wife's purse.
Boy, I gave a huge hug this morning, like a really big squeeze. We're going to the museums as a family.
What have you done for your marriage today? Don't forget the small stuff. Need ideas? Go to foryourmarriage.org, a message from the Catholic Church.
Happy 2017. I'm Dan Dumas with your Reel-to-Reel news brief. Just prior to Christmas, interfaith leaders gathered in response to a recent uptick in hate crimes and acts of religious discrimination. Julie Beaulieu reports.
Hate speech and prejudice will not be tolerated. This was made clear during the United in Faith, Standing with Our Neighbors rally held at the Islamic Society of Western Massachusetts. It became standing room only, and some latecomers were turned away. Area religious leaders and politicians attended and spoke at this event. Springfield Bishop Mitchell T. Rosansky sent a statement read by Marty Peon.
On behalf of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Springfield, its clergy, religious, and laity, I want to again express solidarity and support for our Muslim and Jewish brothers and sisters who have recently found themselves the targets of acts of hatred and discrimination. There is no place for such divisive actions in a civilized society.
Recently, graffiti was found on Mount Tom near the Holyoke-East Hampton border, which depicted a swastika and a racist reference to African Americans. The perpetrators have not been found. In addition, area Muslims have also been harassed based on their religious beliefs. Dr. Mohammed Bajwa, coordinator of interfaith programs, says that hate speech against the Muslim community is on the rise.
Just before and since after the election, they are in the rise, and that was the reason why we wanted to have this gathering to show our unity and solidarity. This gives a broad public message that any Muslim individual or a Jewish individual or Muslim community or Jewish community or any minority is not alone. And that's the message that we were trying to give tonight.
In terms of our attendance tonight, absolutely amazing.
We generally have excellent attendance at these events, but this is easily double what we've ever had for one of these gatherings.
Reporting in West Springfield, this is Julie Bollier.
And it's happening right here in Western Massachusetts.
Meanwhile, in Chicopee, the days leading up to Christmas were an occasion to think of the homeless in our area. David Martin has that story.
Lorraine's Soup Kitchen and Pantry in Chicopee was the setting for the 4th annual Homeless Persons Memorial Day 2016 tribute to remember those who have lost their lives to homelessness over the past year. The National Coalition for the Homeless has advocated National Homeless Persons Memorial Day to take place on or near December 21st, the longest night of the year.
On the hottest day and the coldest day, there are still homeless folk. There's still people living on the streets under 391 on somebody's couch. So we need to raise awareness, the plight of homelessness, not just one day of the year, but throughout the year.
Many prominent members of the Chicopee community attended the evening service, sponsored by the Elms College Nursing School. The school also worked in collaboration with the Basilica of St. Stanislaus Sunday Sandwich Ministry. Conventional Franciscan Father Joseph Benesevitz, pastor of St. Stanislaus Bishop and Martyr Basilica Parish, offered a prayer for the homeless and those who reach out to them.
And we ask the Lord's blessings upon all of the endeavors here tonight and throughout, to be able to continue to look out for the least among us, to continue to be the face of God's love and mercy for those who are most in need.
After the service, everyone was invited inside to a dinner served by volunteers, such as Tiffany Smith, a senior nursing student at Elms College.
I love it. I mean, I've done it last year and I was ready to do more. I've helped out in the community since then, and it means a lot to me to be able to help people in need.
Tiffany said helping others in difficult situations, even a little bit, can go a long way. In Chicopee, I'm David Martin.
In North Adams, it was a display of nativity scenes marking the holidays. Julie Bollier returns with that story.
The creches come in all shapes and sizes, from biggest to small, smaller, and smallest. From very expensive to handmade items. 7-year-old Julia Vareski, a parishioner at St. Elizabeth of Hungary, has her favorite.
It's a snow globe with the things around it, and like everything else is out of the snow globe except for Mary, Jesus, and Joseph. It reminded me of a snow globe I got on St. Nicholas's feast day.
Dennis Zepka, parishioner and a Knight of Columbus, says he got the idea to hold the display from the internet 8 years ago.
We have them from all different parts of the world: Ireland, South America, Mexico, California. I have a friend at the hospital in Pittsfield that is coming up because he's from India and he was hoping to see something from India. And we have 2 sets from Haiti. Father Bill Sear, he has gone to Jerusalem several times and he's brought back creches from there.
Dennis also proudly displays his full Fontanini set from Italy each year, along with beautiful crafts made by his mother and a table just for kids. Reporting in North Adams, this is Julie Bollier.
Finally, a long ago veteran's memory is honored each fall in Northampton with the annual Pulaski Parade. Hundreds of Polish Americans from throughout the diocese and beyond gathered in Northampton to celebrate the city's 13th annual Pulaski Day on October 10th. The Pulaski Day celebrations honor the military service and contributions of Revolutionary War hero General Casimir Pulaski. Born in 1745 in Warsaw, Poland, Pulaski was a nobleman, soldier, and military commander who came to the American colonies to join the Fathers of American Cavalry. He died from battle wounds on October 11th, 1779.
What a joy it is to be with you this day, to celebrate that wonderful Polish and American patriot, Casimir Pulaski. And indeed, as we reflect on his life, as his spiritual sons and daughters in this country today, at this time, we have much to think about in looking at what he did in being able to advance the cause of freedom.
Following the Mass, a parade marched through downtown Northampton, congregating at Northampton's Pulaski Park. Mayor David Narkowitz served as Grand Marshal. The park, having undergone recent refurbishing and reconstruction, was rededicated as part of the 13th annual Pulaski Day celebration.
This park in 1929 was actually renamed Pulaski Park, and we received a monument from the Polish Heritage Society. And so the monument is really a centerpiece of the park. And so every year for the last 30 years, we've had an annual parade in Northampton, which brings Polish people from all around the Pioneer Valley here to celebrate not only Polish heritage, but specifically the life and valor of General Kazimierz Pulaski.
Mayor Narkowitz added that his paternal grandparents immigrated to the U.S. from Poland. Master of Ceremony was James Kwasinski. Richard Koss, Mayor of Chicopee, was keynote speaker. An honorary plaque was presented to Mayor Narkowitz by Bob Gibowitz of the Polish Heritage Committee. Remember, you can always stay informed on all the happenings in the Catholic Church locally or beyond by logging on to our news and information website, iobserve.org. There you can read articles written by our Catholic communications staff, as well as view archived episodes of Reel to Reel. That's iobserve.org. I'm Dan Dumas, and that's your Reel to Reel News Brief.
You are watching Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Here again is your Reel to Reel host, Sharon Roulier.
And finally today, one name synonymous with the suffering is Mother Teresa, now Saint Teresa of Calcutta. Internationally known author Susan Conroy recently visited Western Massachusetts and talked to parishioners in the Holyoke Deanery about the lessons she learned from working side by side in the slums of India with Mother Teresa. I sat down with Conroy in the rectory of Our Lady of the Cross in Holyoke, where she talked about her work with the saint and her new book that offers an opportunity for all to be able to pray, just like this Nobel-PEACE Prize winner who cared for the poorest of the poor. In the summer of 1986, 21-year-old Susan Conroy, then a junior at Dartmouth College, journeyed to Calcutta, India, to work with the Missionary Sisters of Charity. She developed a personal relationship with the founder of the order, Mother Teresa, while serving the poor in the slums of Calcutta. In September of this year, Mother Teresa was declared a saint by Pope Francis at the Vatican. Conroy spoke about her work with now Saint Teresa of Calcutta during an October mission at Our Lady of the Cross Parish in Holyoke.
It's very exciting to me, obviously, to know that somebody that I held hands with and spoke with and laughed with and served the poor with and prayed alongside of, is now an official saint of the church.
Conroy of Portland, Maine, is the author of 9 books, including the best-selling Mother Teresa's Lessons of Love and Secrets of Sanctity. She says she was drawn to serve with Mother Teresa because of her own mother's love for her and her 9 siblings.
But it all started with my own mom at home, my own beautiful mother, who not only nourished us children with good healthy food, but also with good holy reading material. And so my mother used to buy what I call holy books. And she never asked the children to read these books, never told us to read the books. She would just leave these holy books around the house, and they changed my life.
A book about Mother Teresa inspired Conroy to travel to India, a trip that would change the course of her life.
During that first summer in India, I was able to volunteer every morning in the children's orphanages, taking care of abandoned and malnourished children. And every afternoon I volunteered in Mother Teresa's famous Home for the Dying, taking care of sick and dying people whom we literally lifted out of the gutters of Calcutta to serve and care for.
Conroy spoke about how Mother Teresa lifted up those who were sick and dying simply by being with them, sharing a touch, a smile, a prayer.
And there were people on the streets of Calcutta that most of the living would step over their bodies or walk around their bodies or walk on the other side of the street, perhaps for fear of the germs or the dirt, the disease, for fear of catching something. And so again, I respected Mother Teresa so much for the way that she didn't just look at the untouchables, she touched the untouchables and loved them and served them.
During her 11 years of friendship with Mother Teresa, Conroy prayed many times alongside the Missionaries of Charity, and this year published a new book, Praying with Mother Teresa, Prayers, Insights, and Wisdom of St. Teresa of Calcutta. She says she wrote the book so that more people would be able to pray the exact same prayers that Mother Teresa said throughout her day. Prayers when she got dressed in the morning, prayers when she walked to the chapel. The book includes lessons, meditations, and photos. A favorite prayer of Conroy's is one that the Missionary Sisters of Charity and Mother Teresa, who were very devoted to the Virgin Mary, would pray each day.
Immaculate Heart of Mary, cause of our joy, pray for us, bless us, keep us in your most pure heart. Help us to do all the good we can so that we may please Jesus through you, with you, and in you. Immaculate Heart of Mary, cause of our joy, pray for us. Amen.
In the book, readers can also see a copy of a personal note Mother Teresa wrote 30 years ago to Conroy when she gave her a tattered copy of the Missionaries of Charity prayer book.
If this book can open our hearts to God through prayer, God comes in, love comes in, light comes in, wisdom comes in. And so may it make each one of us a better human being and nothing less than a saint.
And Conroy's book is available through a link on our website at iobserve.org. And that wraps things up here on Reel to Reel. Thanks so much for making us a part of your day. And by the way, if you'd like to travel with Father Gary Daly and Springfield Bishop Mitchell Rosansky to Portugal, Spain, and France next July, there are still seats available. For more information, check out a link that we have on iobserve.org, or we can send you information in the mail. Just call 413-732-3175. That's 413-732-3175. As always, to keep up with all of the latest news on the Catholic Church, both here in the Diocese of Springfield and around the world, check out our news and information site, iobserve.org. Also, you can friend us on Facebook at Catholic Communications. As we mark the official end of the Christmas season, we leave you now with some final sounds of Christmas from a December lessons and carols held at St. Teresa Parish in South Hadley, featuring choirs from St. Teresa and St. Patrick's parishes in South Hadley, as well as nearby Immaculate Heart of Mary Parish in Granby. And I will see you next week at this same time on Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you.